Welcome back to Fantasy Football Fam. I'm joined here once again with Mason.
Hiya, feeling flamboyant today.
Yeah, we got some football last night. We are also with Tedder, but he is joining us from a different day. But hey,
Different
Tedder,
timeline, Tedder.
You want to say hi, Tedder?
What's up, Fantasy Fam?
What's up? Great having you, Tedder. All right, so let's talk about a little bit of, I guess not even preseason anymore. We're in season now.
The games have begun.
The games have begun. What did you think about last night's game?
I had so many thoughts last night. It was a wild, incredible game. Great one to start the season.
Great game to start the season. I agree.
Ended up being a 2-point game. Came down to a field goal. Both teams really came out showing their adaptability, modernization of the game. It's going to be a really entertaining year.
One of the funnest things about that game was just the fact that the Cowboys were like, we're not even going to try to run it on you guys. Dak threw 58
I don't think Zeke's
passes.
going to have a lot of moments where he's just not called upon very often because their receivers are getting so much work.
I think even after the game, McCarthy was like, we liked our matchups on the outside.
Yeah.
And so that's why they threw it. But if you're a Ezekiel Elliott owner, I wouldn't worry. I'm sure he's going to get some usage.
The Bucs pulled it off. We all knew they were going to once Brady had the ball back with the minute and 24 seconds. That's honestly probably twice as much time as you want to give Tom Brady to work the field.
He threw 3 passes just out of bounds to waste time. So
behind Amari, the leading fantasy scorer, I think Tom was next up, wasn't he? Or he had more than Dak, I just saw. So
did he?
He did.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
I think it kind of depends.
It might depend on the league.
Because Tom Brady, Dak had more yards, and Tom Brady had an extra interception.
Oh, okay.
And I think they both had 4 touchdowns.
Oh, compared Dak versus Brady.
They both killed it.
Dak
both killed it.
Is, making us doubt what we said earlier about doubting him.
I was doubting his shoulder. I am not doing so
We were
much
never
of that
doubting
anymore.
him as a player. We were doubting if his body was going to give
If he could throw 58 passes in a game, but he seemed
I don't know who could. I don't
fine.
know any human who can just throw that many times and not be feeling a little sore.
Yeah.
So, Dak proving us wrong once again.
We'll see. I mean, if he keeps doing this, like, I don't know if, anybody's shoulder could hold it like that. We'll see. I mean, I think right now you're happy you got Dak. You're happy you got Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper looked great. CD looked great, minus a couple drop passes.
CD's going to be...
that interception Dak
too.
got, oh my gosh. If you watch it, he threaded that needle.
Right through the breadbasket of CD.
And then CD just couldn't grab onto it.
I mean, CD was moving very quickly, and the ball was too. So the plays are there for the Cowboys. The passing is there, and they still have Zeke. So when they need to run, they'll be able to. They're not always going to be playing the Buccaneers every week.
That's true. And, as far as the Bucs go, their running backs kind of left a lot to be desired. Ronald Jones had negative points. So
Fournette steeped barely.
Fournette was like, what did he get, like 10 points or so, PPR?
Yeah.
Mike Evans really didn't have a great game. But
don't expect that too often.
I really think Mike Evans is fine.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Mike.
Not really. Everybody's going to have a bad game, and this was probably be one of Mike's 2 or 3 bad games.
Just like Amari Cooper's not always going to score that many points. He'll probably have some Mike Evans weeks.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Expect it. Expect the
Antonio
randomness.
Brown, though.
Whew. Does he not
Had a
want to
long
steep
tutter.
anymore? We'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye. There's still 3 good receivers there, so I don't think he'll be able to do that every
Godwin, too,
week.
did really well.
Godwin. He had a fumble right on the goal line.
Yeah,
if he
he
would have
could've
made
been-
it in, that
Godwin
would have
and CD had a few missed opportunities, whereas
Yeah.
they might have been the highest scoring fantasy guys. So
seriously. So good
it
players.
was an entertaining game.
Awesome game.
Yeah.
Loved it. So excited to see football this Sunday.
Finally.
Tedder wanted to talk about some preseason news. We had some signings.
Back to the past, Tedder?
Yeah.
Back from the past.
Yeah. Tedder from the past. What do you think about the signings this week?
Tedder of past's time.
Yeah, we got talking about an ex-Pittsburgh Steeler, ex-minor chief, Le'Veon Bell, just got signed yesterday by the Baltimore Ravens. And I think, they signed him to the practice squad. So, he's going to have some time to get used to the offense and stuff, but he'll eventually be bumped up to the 53-man roster, which I'm super excited about. And if he does get up there, there's going to be 2 games on the schedule that he's going to be really excited about, and that's going against the Steelers twice a year. So if you can get Le'Veon, if you can stash him, and you have room to stash him, I recommend it. Because I think in a run-heavy offense in Baltimore, he'll definitely carve out a role for sure.
And definitely, like, I feel like receiving wise too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's a great pass catching back. So
Yeah, I agree. And I
and
think
Gus is not.
exactly. And I think, he'll kind of fill the role to Gus, what Gus would have filled to J.K. Robbins. So I think he'll definitely see some time for sure. So yeah, if you can get Le'Veon Bell, I was able to get him in the deep league. So if you can grab him, go get him.
Tedder, that's a good point about Le'Veon Bell, but you're a little behind.
We're trying to get him. We tried. Failed.
I got him in one league, but I think the guy I really want from the Ravens now is Latavius Murray.
The guy that I had?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He changed teams over the last couple days.
He did, and that was my sleeper for the year.
Keep up past Tedder.
But I was a little worried because they let him go from New Orleans, but I think he's in a good situation here in Baltimore.
Yeah, he's Gus 3.0.
He's Gus. He's
Gus
gonna
with
be,
hands and height.
If you look at all those running backs, it seems like he's the most like Gus Edwards and kind of the style of runner that the
Skipping
Ravens.
the practice squad.
So yeah, Le'Veon Bell and Devontae Freeman got signed
The
to the
other
practice squad. The other two guys that the Ravens just grabbed because they just got decimated at running back. They lost 3 of their running backs. So they signed 3 veterans, and one of them was signed straight to the roster, and that's Latavius Murray. And
Why not?
Why not?
I'm going to name my firstborn child after the man, so I think he should be signed to a team.
Latavius really pulled one up out of the depths for Mason.
Yeah, this was back in a Raiders
Back in the
uniform,
day.
but he really got me into the playoffs one year because I never doubted the man.
He's a good player, and
He
that's
should be out there.
he was behind Alvin Kamara. He didn't really get his opportunities there, and I think in this new situation, I think he's gonna get some opportunity. I'm seeing like maybe 15 touches a game once he gets acclimated to that.
And maybe next week he's going to come on the show.
Maybe. We sent out a message to his secretary.
I tried to add him on IG. We'll see what we get.
We'll see. Yeah, hopefully we can get him. Awesome. So make sure you're keeping up with all this stuff. This stuff happens quick.
Yep.
The one thing that I have is the Fantasy Life app. I told you guys about this a couple weeks back.
Useful.
Very useful, and you can get these alerts, before they're even on ESPN. They just come out so quickly. Just get the Fantasy Life app, put your alerts on, and you can get this news as quickly as possible and pick up these guys before
These
somebody else
waivers
does.
are competitive all of a sudden.
Very much
Season
so.
starting.
Season is starting, and people have already been getting injured, and that is the main kind of thing that promotes these waiver wire type of ads.
Mm-hmm.
So, next thing we are going to talk about is a little bit of gambling. Sports gambling just got legalized in Wyoming.
Did it?
It did. So
About time with that.
yeah. So if you want to get on DraftKings Sportsbook, I'm sure FanDuel will eventually get it.
Oh, and that's why you can use those apps here now. You don't have to travel across.
You don't have to go to Colorado to do it anymore. So we are doing our segment Sure Thing. We are going to pick our best spread that we like or over under that we like.
Feel free to take these to Vegas if you want.
Take them. I'm putting $5 down on mine.
If I had the money, I would be putting all of it on this Sure Thing.
So my Sure Thing is going to be the Packers winning by over 3.5 points against the Saints in a neutral site in Jacksonville. I feel like the Saints are a good team. I just feel like the Packers are gonna come out swinging. I'm pretty sure. They did lose Drew Brees. They're a different looking team without him. So
They're still figuring some stuff out.
I don't think they're going to be able to figure it out against what I
think
see
the
as
Packers are a page or two ahead of them.
top 3 offense this year in the Packers is what I believe. They were the number 1 offense last year. They added more people this offseason.
You would know.
I would know. And my Packers, I got to root for them. They're going to win by a touchdown or 2. That's how I feel. What about you, Tedder?
My Sure Thing is Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks traveling to Indianapolis to go against, I think, Carson Wentz and the old Colts. And my Sure Thing is that it's going to be under 50 points this week. I don't see either team amassing enough points to get to a 50 or over.
50 is a lot, especially for 2 teams that, going up against a good defense on the Colts. And we don't know how good that Colts offense is,
Definitely, yeah. And
I like that.
Yeah, and week 1, there's a few teams that I would expect to come out and shootout like, the Chiefs and the Packers for sure. But week 1 for a lot of other teams, you still fixing the kinks and stuff. I think the Seahawks will score, but, Carson Wentz still has to get into motion with the old Colts. So I think under 50 is a sure thing.
Yeah, he missed a lot of practice going into the season on a new team.
Exactly.
So that'll be hard for him.
Definitely. So, yeah. Book it.
Okay. Book that. Book that. Make some money. All right. You heard it from Tedder.
Yeah, under 50.
What are you doing?
Oh, sorry. I had to finish up something.
Oh, looks like Mason was already booking it.
Well, I had to. Okay.
All right, Mason.
Yes.
Who is your sure thing this week?
Absolutely, positively sure the Dolphins are going to contend with the Patriots. There's a 3-point spread against them.
3.5 points.
3.5 point spread.
So they're giving the Dolphins 3.5 points. You think they'll cover that spread?
I really do. I think the Finns are going to be waiting in the water to cover that spread.
I could see them winning that game too.
Yeah.
So they're giving them 3.5 points. I feel like you got to give the Dolphins some credit. They got a solid defense.
They got a solid defense, and they got a lot of offensive guys that aren't just going to let the substandard Patriots really take them out, a bunch of new players.
Yeah,
So.
I don't know. I think people are too high on the Patriots already.
Belichick's no joke, but the rest of those guys might be.
They got a good defense, unproven offense
Unproven.
though.
Mm-hmm.
And the Dolphins also have a really good defense, and I think a more
Who were
proven
proving some
offense.
stuff last year.
Yeah, so I like that one.
We'll go with it.
Okay, so we got the Packers for 3.5 points favorites. We've got the under in the Colts Seahawks. And then we've got the Dolphins giving
it to the
3.5
Patriots.
points against the Patriots. Those are
Probably
our
beating
sure
them.
things this week. We'll see how that turns out for us next week. We're going to keep track of that all year, see how we do.
How sure are we?
How sure are we? How good are we at this? We don't know
We'll
yet.
see.
Cool. So, we're going to go back into a little bit of waiver wire stuff. We're just going to give you a little bit of tips on how to deal with waiver wires and free agency guys. Mm-hmm. Mason, you had a little hint for people,
Yeah,
right?
I think you got to know your league rules again when it comes to the waiver wire. A lot of times the order is determined in a different way. If it's lowest points for the week, or you just have a waiver order and whoever uses it, it's kind of like a queue.
Right.
It depends on your league. I think the queue is the most common one, but you really got to know where you're at on the waiver wire if you want to get some of those guys that are going to be hot. Everyone's hot after.
Because I think, but there's really two different ones that are main.
Mm-hmm.
And like you're saying, there's a queue, so you have a waiver position spot, and if you use it, you go to the end of the queue.
Yes.
And you go to the bottom. So
I use mine every week.
with that situation, you kind of want to see how high you are in the queue and whether or not that player is worth.
Yeah.
If you've got a number one waiver claim, you may not want to use it on somebody you're not sure about.
Or just use it.
Or use it if you want to, but you're going to the bottom afterwards.
Save it for one of those running back guys. If you got the first one, I think you should save it for
somebody
injury,
you feel like you could start.
If you're
at some
low,
point.
maybe just use
if you're
it.
low, I would just probably use it. And the other option is, I think usually it'll be the inverse of the standings.
Yes,
the
there
current
we go.
standings. So if you are the worst team in the league, record-wise, you will get the first waiver. And if it's that case, you should use it every week, as long as there's somebody out there that you want.
Thanks for clarifying. That's what I meant to say, guys.
Yeah, so those are the kind of like the two different options for waivers. So you got to know what your rules are and then use it accordingly, A lot of people don't really use their waivers. Waivers clear usually.
I think you should use them, but save them if you have a high one, because
don't use it on a
stuff
kicker.
happens.
Don't use like your high waiver
if
on
a kicker scores 20, don't just throw your waiver out there, or a defense. Maybe give it a sec.
Wait for that, some backfield injury, and then you can, or some running back to have an awesome week out of an emerging backfield. And
be one of those people that are preying upon others getting hurt to benefit.
You kind of have to in fantasy, sadly. We're not hoping for injuries, but if somebody gets injured, that means opportunity for somebody else.
It does, so keep it in mind.
Worst part about football and sports in general, injuries, but
I don't want to watch the injury replays, but
never.
If somebody's backup's going to get, they're getting their opportunity too. So these guys are all competing to play.
These guys made an NFL roster.
Yeah.
So they're good players.
They want to get out there.
Sometimes they just need the opportunity. So, Yeah, keep your eye out on waivers. There's also, once waivers clear, people can just be added.
Use
You don't
them
have
as,
to claim them.
Yeah.
Then you do whatever you want. Grab a kicker, grab a defense.
Pick up 30 guys. As soon as you pick someone up and drop them, though, they're going to go back on the waiver.
Yeah, so you can tell, on ESPN, it either says claim or add. If you hit claim, it's going to be a waiver spot, and you're going to use your waiver when the waiver's clear, which is usually Wednesday early in the morning, right?
You have to stay up late on Wednesday nights sometimes.
Sometimes if you want to wait till waivers clear to start adding people, you can totally do that. I've done that many times.
Well, and then you can, you wait for them to clear and then get some other guys.
Some guys, so you don't have to use your waiver claims. But
the diehards will be doing that.
Diehards, people like us, and that gives you an advantage.
And Tedder over there.
Man,
he's really quiet today.
Tedder, why are you so quiet right now? All right. So next thing we are going to talk about is our positional favorites for the week. So this is something else I think we're going to do at least most weeks. We're going to pick our top people at the position who we think we're going to score the most points at their position. The rule is...
Amari Cooper.
Well, we can't use Amari Cooper because he already had a crazy good week. But the rule is you can't pick the same guy 2 weeks in a row.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and start. My number one QB this week is going to be Lamar Jackson. I believe that there's not going to be, a ton of running game for them because they just signed a bunch of people that don't even know the offense yet. So I'm going with Lamar Jackson for getting a lot of rushing yards and still being able to pass a lot. Obviously, he's got a steep hill to climb with what Dak and Brady already did, but we'll see. My guy's going to be Lamar Jackson. My tight end is going to be Travis Kelce because, he's Travis Kelce. My wide receiver is going to be A.J. Brown, Anthony Juan Brown. I feel like that Cardinals defense, their secondary is very lacking in skill, and I think A.J. is going to come out swinging this year. Mm-hmm. And my running back is going to be Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook is just a boss. He
does some things.
Not playing the best defense. So those are going to be my top fantasy points for the position. All right, Tedder. Let's hear your most points for each position this week.
All right. So I'm going to go a little bit out of order because I'm a double dip with two positions. So I'm going to go quarterback and wide receiver, both coming from Arizona. Got Kyler Murray going off against that poorest Tennessee defense. And if he's going off, that means DeAndre Hopkins has to be going off. And I don't think there's a DB in Tennessee, college or professional, who can hold that man. So we're going to go DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray for my quarterback wide receiver. Running back, sorry, Garrison, this is going to hurt you a little bit, but I'm going to Alvin Kamara. They're going up against the Packers. I'm still not sold fully on the Packers defense. And I think I'm making this pick mainly because Jameis is going to go to Alvin Kamara a lot, especially early on as he gets settled in.
He ran all over us last year.
He did. Was that the 6 touchdown game? I think that was a 6 touchdown game.
It was.
Yeah.
Was it? Oh.
I think it might have been.
I think it might have been.
And if it wasn't, that's okay, because either way, he's going to get a lot of looks.
I don't know if it was the 6 touchdown game.
It might not have been.
But he did have a really long run against us.
Yes.
It was like 70 yards or something.
Yeah. And he'll be used out of the backfield. They're going to use him a lot to help Jameis get settled in a little bit. So definitely Alvin Kamara for my running back this week. And then finally at the tight end position, I'm going Kyle Pitts. They get Philadelphia at home. I haven't done much research on Philadelphia defensively, but I haven't been too impressed with their pass defense. And I don't think there's a safety or a linebacker on that defense who can hold Kyle Pitts. And I think Calvin Ridley's going to warrant a lot of the attention. So I think Kyle Pitts, has the makings of having a really big game on Sunday. So yeah, we got Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, Alvin Kamara, and Mr. Kyle Pitts for my most points scored this week.
Kyle Pitts coming out swinging as a rookie.
Yeah, going to be out there stinky like armpits.
I'd love to see that, man. That'd be so awesome.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
All right, so those are Tedder's top at the position. Mason, what are your top at the position?
Well, for my quarterback, wouldn't you know it, I picked Kyler Murray to score the most points this week.
What? The guy you think's going to score the most points in the league?
How many times am I allowed to pick him only once? I guess I'll pick him.
You can pick him every other week if you want.
Oh, okay. I'll be doing that.
Just once. You can't pick the same
person. I guess
person
with his lower matchups. Tight end, Tedder, Pitts as well.
Going with Pitts.
I'm going with Kyle Pitts
Them
against
stanky
the
Pitts.
Eagles.
Getting a lot of support from the fantasy football fans.
I mean, his Pitts probably a little stinky with those long, strong arms pulling in balls, but he is a tight end of the ages. Okay. And then for receiver, I have Justin Jefferson blowing up on the Bengals.
Oh, I like that.
Regardless of... he blew up last year in general, but regardless of the score of that game, I think Jefferson's just going to go off.
Okay.
I really do. And then my running back, I have James Robinson against the stanky Texans. I just think he's going to take care of them.
Okay.
Put them away early and then keep them in the ground. Sorry, Houston.
Houston, we don't have a lot of faith in your team, to be honest.
You would have been my sure thing, but, man, I feel bad for you.
Yeah. Houston, the Lions, those guys really...
Well, yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. It's a new year, but I don't have a lot of confidence in those teams and being able to hold other teams off. So
I've been wrong before.
We've all been wrong, and I think a lot of people thought
been wrong.
The Cowboys were going to get blown out last night, but
CeeDee Lamb might not score as much as he did, and he could have.
Everybody is trying their. This is the stuff they've been working for years. A lot of people got hurt last year, and they want to come out and prove that they're still good. So, a lot of these teams, we're going to think people are going to be bad.
Spike.
Teams are going to be bad, but ultimately, it's a brand new year, so we really don't know. So we'll see how this goes.
Going to get some good football games this year.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they came out a little more ready than COVID year, so.
People got a preseason this year.
Yeah,
so.
And we get an extra game.
Extra game. I know. That's great for us.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it doesn't mean more people get injured. That's one thing I'm a little worried about, but that is part of football.
It is the risk you take going out there.
Speaking of injuries.
For those millions.
We're going to talk about our go deep teams.
We should.
Which, at least mine has already experienced a huge loss with injury.
I think I went up against Mari Cooper last night.
Oh,
Yay.
God. Yay for this guy over here. All right.
I'm proud of Amari.
We're going to send it over to Pass Tedder. What do you think about your go deep team?
I'm super excited about my go deep team. So, I don't remember my full-on draft order, but I know my roster, and it's beautiful. So, my number one pick, I do remember that, was Mr. Jonathan Taylor, who I'm super excited about. After that, my order kind of falls apart, but the cool thing about my team is literally 30 seconds after the draft ended, I got a trade request, and we worked some things out, and I was able to trade Joe Mixon and Kyle Pitts, who I was sad to see go because I'm really excited about Kyle Pitts, for, though, the human choo-choo train himself, Derrick Henry, and Logan Thomas. So now I'm sporting a nice Jonathan Taylor, Logan Thomas 1-2 punch, which I'm super excited about.
Dude, having Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry, that's scary.
Yeah, two horses, two absolute Clydesdales.
Yeah.
We're talking about Budweiser Clydesdales.
And I love Jonathan Taylor.
Yes.
Year. I got him in 2 leagues right now. So
hey, he's a dog. And then wide receiver-wise, I'm pretty happy. I got Jerry Jeudy, another one of the guys I'm super excited about. Odell Beckham, one of my sleepers that I talked about. I think I got him at a great value. And then another young guy in Jalen Waddle, who I think, based off of, past work with Tua, I think those two will slowly start to have that connection, and I'm excited about that. And then leading my team at the quarterback position, I got Mr. Baker Mayfield. I think, he's set to have a type of an MVP type season. I think he's really on the cusp of that. He played really well last year. Slings it really well. Got 2 great wide receivers to throw to, so I'm excited about that.
He looked very accurate last year.
Yeah.
I think that was the thing that impressed me. And comfortable.
Yeah, so he got a swag bag.
Yeah. You remember when he was young, he was all skittish, dude. And I was like, this guy's he can't settle down. And then he did, and he's like, boom, boom.
And if we're being completely honest, the Browns were one blown call away from going to the Super Bowl. And that helmet to helmet hit right before halftime of that playoff game, and the ball fumbled out of bounds, and the Chiefs ended up winning that.
Oh man, I didn't even remember that.
Yeah, that literally flipped the whole game. So Baker's coming back with a vengeance.
Yeah, I'm sure he's angry. I'm sure the whole team is.
Oh, yeah. And then on the bench, I got some solid depth. I got Trey Sermon, who I think eventually will see a lot of touches in San Francisco behind Raheem Mostert. May even supplant him if Mostert can't stay healthy. Jalen Reagor, who I'm excited about in Philadelphia. He definitely has some breakout potential. Emmanuel Sanders, who I'm super excited about. I think he'll warrant a lot of targets in Buffalo, especially if Cole Beasley is in and out of COVID protocol. That's a story for later. Eric Ebron, I'm excited about. He's the number one option. in Pittsburgh, and Big Ben loves his tight ends every now and then.
He just got to catch these balls this year.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah, as long as he's catching the balls, he'll be good. Chuba Hubbard, I'm super excited about because I'm a big Christian guy, but I also think the Panthers will be smart enough to kind of dial him back a little bit, especially coming back from an injury. So Chuba Hubbard might be a guy, whenever I'm struggling on a bye week and I need to fill someone in, I'll put him in and just, hope he does what he does. And then finally, like I mentioned earlier in the show, I was able to grab old Le'Veon Bell. It was Mac Jones right there, but there's no reason to have two quarterbacks on your roster if you don't need it. So I was able to drop Mac Jones, pick up Le'Veon Bell, and hopefully if Mac Jones is available later in the year, I might snag him back up if he's balling. But
yeah, or grab another QB that's coming up too. That's the thing
saying.
with QBs,
Oh, yeah.
They're fairly replaceable, you know.
Yeah, and you really only need it for 1 week out of the year. So unless you find a guy that's just balling, and then you switch him out. But looking at the old Jason Voorhees Butcher Shop LLC, I'm super excited about my butcher shop. I think we got all the meat that anyone can handle. So let's get it done.
Oh, man. One of the deepest teams in the league, it looks like. I liked your draft, Tedder.
All right.
I liked it.
Thank you, sir. I'm excited.
Good luck with your season. I'm coming for you.
Ooh, bring it on, baby.
Awesome. Team's looking pretty good. I like that team.
Some of those guys, the ones you're trading me specifically.
All three of us have made trades already.
With each other.
Me and Mason made
because we were talking a lot.
We traded a couple players back and forth, actually.
I have not seen that before, but what works for you? I wanted Terry back. First, I needed the value to get David from Garrison, and then he wanted Latavius, so I got the value back. But we both love Cortland and Terry, so can't really go wrong.
Yeah. So how do you feel about your team overall?
Well, with Scary back, and I got David, I got my guy. I wanted either him or Antonio, so I'm happy. This is the only league I got Kyle Pitts in, and I had to give up Derrick Henry to do it. But I got Pitts in the tight end premium league, the only one I'm in. So really excited about that. Kyler's there, of course. I got him in 3 out of 4 of my leagues. Mike Williams, Marquez Callaway. They're going to really trying to be carrying the load for my receivers because that's kind of where I sacrificed to get Kyler and those running backs and tight ends. So I really like the way my team's ending up. It's going to be an uphill battle this week against Amari Cooper, but there's a lot of people playing, so hopefully one of my guys can go off.
Yeah, man. Amari got 40 points.
Marquez.
40 points.
Yeah.
So hopefully you can pull yourself out of that hole. I think a lot of people.
If not, good job, Muds.
Yeah, a lot of people
Next
lose
week I'll get
faith
it.
when they have like somebody put up those kind of points against them, but it's fantasy football. Anything could happen. One
I've
of
had
his
a
players could
player
go
put
off
up
too.
40, and then the rest of my team doesn't do much. So we'll see. I don't think that's going to happen to Mike. I think he's going to have a good week.
Yeah, good job, Mike. I think he probably got a super good value with
He has
Amari
Devonta
Cooper.
too.
Devonta Smith.
Yeah.
I know you love him.
Yeah. He wouldn't give him to me.
My team turned out pretty good. I like the way it started.
How you liking your team over there?
Like I said earlier on the show, I was the second overall pick. I got Travis Kelce. I got David Montgomery, who I ended up trading to.
Oh, thanks for that.
To Mason, but I got Joe Mixon, and I'm a big fan of him this
good.
year. Gus Edwards, I got him, but he obviously is out for the season. So I had to
pimped himself into Latavius.
I pimped my way into Latavius, who I believe is going to be the leader of that backfield by the end of the year.
If they're paying him and putting him on the top of the depth chart.
I mean,
think so.
He went straight to the roster, unlike the other two. I had Cortland Sutton. I'm a big fan of Cortland this year, so I ended up trading him to Mason.
I didn't
for
show
Terry
him.
McLaurin.
Yeah, I didn't show him any of my team's strategies while he was on my roster. I didn't reveal anything to Cortland. So good luck with that.
Got Cortland back. I got a couple more receivers that I like. A couple running backs that we'll see how good they do. I think ultimately I'm happy with the way my squad turned out. I've got Ryan Tannehill, which I think he's going to do great this year with those two awesome receivers.
Did you just really want to give Lawrence back to me? I'm going for Lawrence.
I did drop Lawrence. I did drop him because I needed some running backs.
Yeah, I think Tannehill will be solid.
Tannehill's going to be fine. I'm not worried about Tannehill. He's going to be a top 10 quarterback easy. I think he could even creep up into that top 8.
If Derrick Henry gave him a piggyback into the end zone, who would get the touchdown there?
Whoever's got the ball in their hand.
What if they're both holding it?
half a touchdown each.
Fantasy
Fantasy
Be
conundrum
ready for situations
right there.
like that.
Awesome. Well, I think we all kind of had some good teams. We'll
Yeah.
see how this year goes. It's a great start with that first game.
Good draft, guys.
Yeah. Awesome. Well,
See you at the finish line.
yeah, see you at the finish line. So we had a great week this week. So hopefully you guys enjoy football. Welcome back to football. Thank you so much for tuning into our show.
Thank you.
We will see you
See you
next
next
week,
week, fam.
fam.